Hello and welcome, race fans, YouTube fans, racing fans, NASA fans, all the fans. It is me, your Monday night host, Electric Chicken, joined by my beautiful new partner, Pace Dogs. Pace Dogs, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Good to be here. Good to be back after our first go at it last week. Looking forward to another exciting one here at USA.
US of A, and how are you in particular with US of A?
It's a tough one. I think it's a very demanding track. So, there's a lot of time to be gained. There's a lot of time to be lost. You got the S's, which are basically double of what it would be at Silverstone. Then a very, as we spoke earlier, very hard technical sector 2 and kind of flowy till the end. So I'm here or there. What about yourself?
I'm getting there, bringing it down. Working to... Perfect, thank you, Simon. We're working to just get a really good understanding of the track. I think consistency and the flow state is going to play and prove to be an excellent tool for such a long track as Circuit of the Americas. In a minute and 40 seconds or a minute and 38 seconds-ish is going to be the Tier 2 pace, I know, for us. So it's all about keeping the consistent tire wear, consistent tire temps. With that being said, I don't have an issue with those technical things in particular. It's just trying to get to know the track.
Yeah, it's something I think you got to be, as I said with the S's, since they are extended, it's something you have to get yourself familiar with, how much curb you can take, how much, tire you can put on that curb before you get loose, that high-speed right-hander, how much effort you can put into that. Could you go for the pass like Verstappen did and make it clean instead of cutting the corner like he did in real-life F1? But there's a lot of tracks you got to get familiar with, but I think this is definitely one of the important ones in particular.
Yeah, I mean, if you can set a good, consistent lap on Circuit of the Americas, I believe it embodies most of the technical aspects of any track out there, and as well as some high speed. You need to consider some high speed downforce settings. If you can put all that together, I'd say you're a pretty good driver.
It's a track used in quite a lot of different series. It's became the American Grand Prix, the United States Grand Prix after they left Indianapolis. We're both big fans of WEC. They race here. I believe it's a 6-hour race, possibly. Indy races here, Formula One. So top tier series race here. And I definitely say if you're quick, that shows that you got some skill behind the wheel.
Nice. And speaking of wheel, tell us about your new setup, the Club Sport.
Yeah, I dove off the deep end. I just dove right into it.
Balls deep.
I was gonna get the old round regular CSL Elite wheel and pedal bundle, but unfortunately when I went to go purchase it, they sold out. So I said, you know what? Why don't I spend the little extra money? Camden sets a 133.6 first guy to pass line.
Fuzz is actually just starting his lap. We do have another McLaren coming across the line, I believe, for the start of his lap. But you decided to go with the open wheel setup.
Yeah, I went for the big one. Plans in the future to get a computer, hopefully get into the iRacing gig, like I know a lot of us want to. So that's what I decided to go with. Dove off, went for the big purchase. Big day for me, really excited. So.
It's a crossroads for sim racing drivers in general, being it the last console that Microsoft and Sony are going to endeavor on creating, because computers are so far ahead. The crossroads being, does a person wait for the PS5 to buy some new gear, or do we hope the software is compatible, and after the PS5 comes out, maybe some of these drivers aren't going to take their sim racing the console route. They're going to go the iRacing route because it is becoming such a comprehensive, well-known game.
Yeah, the way I'm hearing it, based off what I've read about the PS5, is it's basically going to be a computer in itself. So, you know, why not? If you want to skip the console route, why not just go straight to the iRacing? Because I would say that's the best racing you're going to get at the moment, for what we can do with technology. And there's so many options on that game. So, you know, the purchase for me made sense. Something good, something that's going to last, something that I could take into that if I decide to later on.
Yeah, exactly. You want to have something you could update. A good computer, I think, if you buy all the latest parts, a good computer, just the box alone and the motherboard, will take you, 5, 6, 7 years at least, if you just keep throwing parts at it. So I think honestly that's where I'm headed as well. I just don't see myself as a motorsports and sim racing lover and just overall a huge fan for all these different disciplines, being restricted by any particular. I don't want to restrict myself, and I know iRacing has so many different forms of racing. With the rallycross, I know that they've just integrated rallycross into it, and of course the GT3 and Le Mans and WEC endurance racing series have all kind of put their hats in the ring when it comes to sim racing on iRacing. So they're at the forefront. I think honestly that's where I'm headed to. Of course, we'll see what the Discord does, right? Because don't we just love these guys in Tier 1 and Tier 2
Yeah,
and the competitive community?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I would love to keep this going as long as possible.
Hey, Chris.
Keep it going, even because it's hey, the American Grand Prix. Where's Alexander?
We got Chris Fontaine back in. The real Chris Fontaine, by the way, the blue checkmark Chris Fontaine. Is some sort of NASCAR. The actual Chris Fontaine, though, I did do a little bit of research, is a Gander Truck Series driver. Not a full-time, but a reserve, I believe.
And if I could, just before I forget, go ahead and, while I'm on board here with JFD, I think he's heading out right now. Wish a big happy birthday to him and his middle daughter, Emma. JFD took the 8-point lead last week of the championship, right after the mishap with Puff. So see if those two guys can battle it out again, or if JFD can hold on to it. But I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that, gave him a nice shout out to him and his family.
Shout out JFD, one of my most feared drivers when he comes out to 5 laps. Usually it's me looking at his diffuser if I am even in sight. Unfortunately, he's definitely out of my league for now, but JFD, happy birthday, but I am coming for that booty. Swiggity spooty. I'm coming for that booty. Let's talk qualifying. Sir Harry Hosper setting a 132.039 pace. Do you think we're going to see a 131?
Well, I'm looking at somebody for that. We got Puff out on fresh ones. See what he can do, after that blazing speed he had in Singapore last week. Harry, though, I mean, that is a great lap with T-Money. Probably he was pushing there 132.1. T-Money also fast guy. JFD, very quick, as we just said. So
I think T-Money races the cockpit cam. Did you have a chance to check out his...
Yeah, he does.
Did you check out his lap that he posted in the general? Pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Hot dog.
Smooth.
Dude, it was a 136. Like, what? Like a 130 and 0.6. That's like top 400. It's absurd.
We also got GP in here reserving. He's sitting 11th in the Mercedes.
Who's Simon? Talking mad shit. You know what, Simon? I'm tired of you. Simon G. You don't even put your whole name there like Wayne Cox. Wayne Cox is out here repping the whole name.
Yeah, and he's trying to throw in a little A little shade between us here. You're talking about the Ferrari Renault battle, Tier 2.
Yeah, that was a little shady for sure. But
We got to work together, Coxie.
Yeah, got to leave it to Wayne Coxie to start trying to start some shit. Classic. I'm your best friend. Oh, it's Bobby Tava. I am sorry, Bobby. I did not remember that Simon G was Bobby Tava. But on other news, enough about our
RC 130 flat, 130.03, 132.03.
132.03. That's exceptional pace, but I do think we're going to see that beaten by about 6/10 here. I'm just waiting to see what the strategies are. It looks like everybody's starting on softs, but pace. This track is merciless when it comes to tires. If you can't keep those tire temps down, then you're looking at a lot of tire wear really fast.
What do you think in strategy? I was presuming maybe a soft medium race. Seems like everybody's on the softs except GP, but I imagine he's going to switch. But I was thinking maybe the one-stop soft mediums, but like you said, it's going to be that strategy with proper tire management.
And we have Dzig has gone around. Oh, and he resets
Puff Digital 131.7.
Ah, there we go. 131.7. But I don't think that's pole. That is a very fast lap.
See what T-Money can do here.
Oh, we have the head steward and Rayek. Boo! That's the last thing we need is more government control.
Speaking of
government
Mr.
control.
Rayek, that dude can golf like no other. I'll tell you what.
Did you guys go on a foursome?
No, we were playing golf club. We got a little thing set up, and he's just spanking people left and right all over the course.
Well, his anime name definitely lends itself to a somebody who is multilingual in gaming. So 131.7 on the softs. I don't think our soft runners are going to stay out, or our medium runners are going to stay out on softs, because it doesn't look like anybody has taken the medium route, which does make a giant influence, having so many soft runners for the race start. So if these medium runners can't get out and set a lap on softs, then they're going to start at the back of the pack. And I know that there's lots of opportunities to pass in Circuit of the Americas, but there is also, there is also just a giant deficit if you're too far back. Sometimes it's difficult to overcome.
Yeah, I would say it's placed with overtaking zones for sure. Turn one, but following a car through those S's is something that I found personally very difficult. It's very easy to get washed out. Miss an apex, go wide, and those S's are very unforgiving with the strict corner cutting rules.
So Doth came out on soft, or on rather, he set his lap a 133.462 on mediums, came out on softs, and he is now back in the pits. So I think he elected to see if he can squeeze out a lap on the softs here. He does have 4 minutes, and the reason I bring up Doth is because he's very competitive most of the time, so he's not somebody you want to sleep on.
Mr. Presidente of the Stewards is offering 2 penalty points our way for every missed crash, so we have to be on it.
I am a sniper when it comes to catching crashes. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but
you're on it. You are on it.
I am ONNIT. Use the code name Electric Chicken and save yourself 10% off an ass whooping.
Ginnett sitting up there in P2.
Yeah,
so,
I'm happy for Ginnett, but hey, if there's ever an Achilles heel about consistency, Ginnett definitely fits in that puzzle piece.
T-Money just a 10th off of Mr. Puff Digital. What do you have any more to say? Do you have anything to think about that unfortunate event that Puff went through? I wish no bad luck on the guy, but he had that last week, and Mr. Internet said, "You know what? That's enough."
Well, there's not much you can do right now. Servers are overloaded. People are buying up every gaming system, and streaming is at an all-time high. So that only makes me think that the internet can't handle. People with mediocre internet at best, on a good day, can make it through races without any issues. But once you start to add in extra latency because of overusage of the servers and a lot of data for certain communities and areas, then you start to get what happened to Puff, as he was booted from our last race. But if I could offer any advice to anybody that's having a difficult time with their internet connection, or and they're felt hard done by safety cars, is that, look, this is sometimes an F1 race can come down to a game of chance, and sometimes you don't pull the right card. So with that being said, the only thing you can change is your attitude and your ability to practice, and just be prepared as best you can. And so I think for Puff, he needs to embody what I just suggested, and put his head down and just keep racing. He held the lead in the championship all year so far. I don't suspect we're going to see him down and out by any means.
Yeah, talking about the championship currently, just looking off of last week's standings, JFD with 188 leading, Puff second at 180, and then small little gap there to 139 to Ginnett, and then Doth right on his tail in fourth place, and then Round in top five with RC with 123 points. So they got a little battle going on in top five. I think that's when it comes down to consistency. But speaking of Puff, I think he's about to try to set another heater here.
Don't be mean, Rayek. You be nice to me. I'm your friend. Simon G's my best friend, but you're my friend also. Don't make me take the mic here and start roasting. I'll roast the shit out of you. You'll be a perfectly done turkey when I'm done with you, baby. Sorry, I'm just getting a lot of flack here in the YouTube chat. That's the last thing I need to be thinking about. I'm having a beautiful young child, for God's sakes. So we got 30 seconds left here, and a 1:31.745 is the mark. But getting on board with Doth Thou Hoist, he's on softs, coming down to the Fly Emirates board, coming through the S's, looking to keep it nice and concise. If you mess this up, it's a huge knock on your lap. So Doth on the softs is the only person yet to set a soft lap. Him with the medium being 1:33.462. Hopefully he can top that time. He did bring it right down to the wire here, so if he somehow messes this up, he's going to be kicking himself in the booty.
Just behind him on track as well as looks like Puff just a little ways back trying to set another one as well. So Fuzz.
Whoa!
With a
Holy Toledo! Insane Asylum Phasylum sets a 1:31.443 on softs. That is what we call a pervert. Oh, Puff locks up in the end of sector, at the beginning of sector 2, rather. That's not what he's going to be looking for to set a fast lap. Smooth wins here, folks. Smooth wins. I wonder what Doss going to set here. Let's go back to Doss. So he is actually just about to come across the line for a 1:32.020 P5.
And Puff as well, about to cross the line. Can he bump Buzz?
Harayuk!
And he does not. So Buzz. Looks like Buzz might have it here.
I am very excited. Chat, blow it up for Buzz. Oh, and Beck 9000 pips. Sorry, excuse me, not Beck 9000. Beck 9000, a million and trillion gajillion has stolen second place from Puff Digital. How sexy. Fuzz 1:31.443.
Buzz Redemption, old Simon says. Puff Digital even comments on Fuzz there. So, I could go ahead and round us through the top 10 if you like there, Chicken.
Take us away.
You got Fuzz setting that heater. P1, big redemption race for him, hopefully. Beck 9000 as you quote, gazillion, trillion, billion. Second place, Puff Digital third, JFD fourth. Ginnett, T-Money, Sir Harry 7th, RC 8th, Doth holding on 9th, and then we got Camden Luca rounding out the top 10. Looks like everybody on the softs. Zoinks the Zoo did not set a time.
Sorry about that, Pace. I just slipped out to grab a bottle of wine.
Okay, a bottle.
Took a couple dirty looks from the old lady.
A whole bottle. You got to get loose up here.
I had Clint Eastwood on the couch there staring me down, making sure I wasn't drinking too much. Papa makes his own decision, baby.
Yeah, speaking of Papa, huge congratulations, for what you're about to have going on in your life.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
One step at a time, I'm going to have a little bum to clean here in a couple weeks, but I'm really hoping it doesn't affect my ability to be the best sim racer in this league. I'm just going to use the washroom, so maybe take us on a monologue. Tell us how your day was.
Oh, my day. Man, we're all dealing with the same stuff with what's going on with the virus at the moment. Everybody's in their house locked down, so just trying to keep busy. Like I said, I spent the morning overchecking my big purchase of the new wheel. So it's pretty much where half my day was spent. Played a little golf with Axton on a golf club since we can't get out on the real courses. But been excited for this race. Second time in the booth with Chicken. Hope to keep it moving forward like this. Really enjoying it. So I hope we have another nice race here. It was really quality last week in Singapore. So I'll hand it over to Chicken here. I believe he's back. We got 5 seconds left, and he can run us through the start.
Well, we got the formation lap, but it never hurts to congratulate Fuzz again on his beautiful lap he just set. He is kind of a turd, but that's neither here nor there. Well, he set the fastest lap. I'm just stunned. He that's the lap of his life. Right now, I bet he's shaking. He plays it like he's super confident and really at the forefront of this shit-talking game. But one thing Fuzz needs to realize is that when the pressure is actually on, there's a giant leap between handling the pressure, coming out strong and winning, or placing in the top 3 or 5, or losing it all on the first few laps because you got the willies. And I'm really hoping that he doesn't abide by the ladder on this beautiful Monday here at COTA.
As we spoke last week at Singapore, we were talking about our battles personally in Tier 2 between each other. The car behind, at least for the both of us in our situation, really has the ability just to stick right there. So even though the car in front does have clean air, it's really all about that guy who's leading the battle at the moment. Can he, run without any mistakes to hold on to that lead? Because you can really sneak up on somebody quick, especially at a track like this. A few decent straights to really get close. Hang in there through the S's, get a good exit. You might be able to make a pass.
Sneak's an overstatement. COTA is beautiful in its ability to have somebody come from behind and punch you right in the face because there's so many places to pass that there's no sense in trying to give somebody space because the pressure can really get to people here. I'm going to follow you really close. I'm going to make you make a mistake, and then I'm going to take advantage of you. And that has to be the strategy for most of these drivers today. We got the whole grid lining up now for what's going to be a fantastic race here, and the talk of the town is Fuzz. We're going to see how he gets away. He does have Beck 9000 and Puff, JFD, Ginnett, Killers, Murderers Row right behind him. 5 red lights, and away we go. It looks as if most of the grid got away nice and quick, and Puff Digital slips right up the inside of Insane Asylum Fuzzylam, and there's some contact. JFD on the back right or back left of Fuzz, or holy Toledo, I can't. This is insane. So Puff steals the lead. Beck 9000 in second. Fuzz moves up to second now. Oh, and Fuzz cuts the track, and we're gonna have to move into cockpit cam here. I'm blown away. There's a lot of action here, and the TV camera's just not catching it. Oh, Puff with a horrible exit out of the left-hander at the end of Sector 1, and coming into the hairpin, we got Fuzz and Ginnett looking to go up the inside of Fuzz. Fuzz holding him off. Puff Digital behind, and JFD moves up a position. So T Money's down into 6 with with trying to put some side draft on JFD. RC looking to capitalize on their battle. Wow, what an amazing getaway. We didn't have any incidents or safety cars, but we might have a couple bruised egos and a couple yellow wings. What do you think so far, Pace?
Yeah, you said it perfect. A couple bruised egos possibly. You know, Fuzz dropped down a couple spots there, but he got back up to second. Puff, great start. Just bobbled a few. And as we said, you got to be smooth here. Drops a fourth. Beck got a nice little bit of space between him and Fuzz. If he can lengthen that before the DRS comes out, he might have some clear air for a while. What a start, though. Very clean by everybody. A couple bumps here and there, but that's bound to happen.
The big winner here is Dzig, is up 3 positions, but that is in the that is from 11th to 8th. I love how Ginnett's name is F1 Ginnett to win it. He must have changed it for some reason, so because I think it was just Ginnett to win it before, right? So F1 Ginnett to win it, or F2 should we call him, is up into 3rd place. And Puff is down a position, and Fuzz is down 1 position too. So I'm really hoping that Fuzz is able to hold on to his beautiful start. Losing 1 position is not really a big deal, but let's see if he can profit off of this. I'm hoping a top 10 for Fuzz at least.
Yeah, we got the looking back here, just following all the cars through, back to at least 10th. We got a solid line of cars that are well within DRS, except for Fuzz to Beck. So once that DRS comes out, things are going to start happening left and right. Should get pretty exciting.
Fuzz taking the optimal line through Sector 2, coming into the beginning of Sector 3 here. If you can just hold on and think about the long game, Fuzz is going to try and look to the next few laps to see if he can keep those tire temps down and catch back up to Beck 9000 without using too much of his ERS, but the main goal is to get back in the DRS range coming into lap 3 here. DRS is now active, so this is going to play huge. Oh, Fuzz setting the fastest lap of the 136. Oh, T-Money right behind him, 136.881. So with the DRS, oh, sorry, is DRS, I believe it's supposed to be active now. Maybe lap 4 on COTA being 28 laps at about 1 minute and 38. Oh, we have a Sector 1 yellow flag, so we have looks like some traffic, and RC7 moves down into 20th, and he's sideways after the hairpin. He must have had some contact with somebody. We're going to have to go look at all the end plates to find that fingerprint on who did RC7 wrong. And he goes a little bit wide there. When his tires are hot, he goes around. That is one thing you have to watch out for, folks. Once you spin those tires, once you spin the car, you're really increasing those tire temps, and you're going to do yourself a giant disservice, and I don't necessarily know if that is RC7's fault. Oh, Zoinks goes around too. Man, these guys' tires are on marshmallows.
Yeah, I believe there was some stuff going on back there in that group. They're pretty heavily packed up. Doth loses 6 spots. Wonder what happened to him. And then you got Lakunak up 8. Ryan up 4. So there may be a little bit of madness going on there in the first turn.
A little bit of hanky-panky in turn 1.
usually what happens there, you know, uphill braking, blind left-hand turn, you know, you got to pick the right time to turn in, find that apex. So maybe somebody turned in on somebody, somebody locked up, you never know.
Lakunak taking a miserable line through oh, and Ryan has to go wide as a result. Lakunak driving very erratically. Harry Hotspurs goes in. Is that because there's a little bit of damage? Or is he just taking that early pit trying to perform the undercut?
Let's see what tires he goes on here. He is going to go on a set of mediums. No. Softs again. Repairing the wing as well.
Puff Digital 3/10, 2/10 now behind Ginnett, looking to capitalize on the second hairpin down the Sector 2 straight. Getting a beautiful exit here. He's only 3/10 behind Ginnett. Ginnett is not going to stand a chance. Oh, Ginnett does get DRS to Fuzz, so looking like he's going to put up a good fight here. And now Puff is out into clean air, not being able to keep up that pressure. Braking a little bit later. They're both going to go side by side, and Ginnett is able to fight him off. Oh, there's a little bit of lag there. Oh, we have a Sector 1 and 2 yellow flag, and that is... Zoinks. Oh, my... Zoinks, did he just reset to track? I believe he just reset to track.
And Doth dropping back. And they might have both spun when you were running us through that battle as well between Ginnett and Puff. Fuzz took the lead in the left-hander at the end of the straight.
Oh no, so Doth is in 20th position on the hard. Something must have happened. He's looking to run 24 laps here unless there's another safety car. Hopefully he's wishing that safety car comes about 15 laps from now so we can go on to the fresh softs. He is on the back foot. Sam, M22, 6, 3 seconds for Sam. Unfortunately, 1 for each letter of his name. Fuzz in first place, doing a great job. Able to pass Beck a few laps ago, or in the lap just before this comment. So Ginnett 4/10 behind Beck and Puff 2/10 behind him. Ryan makes a move on Lakunak. Unfortunately, we didn't catch it, so he moves up to 11th place. Puff Digital is 2/10 behind Ginnett. 3/10 now, looking to pass Ginnett ASAP. I believe Puff's having a tough time with his connection here because I am catching a little bit of lag on the stream. I don't know if you're seeing this 2-pace.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit dodgy here and there. What was going on? Lakunak and Gruesome also picked up 3 seconds each for what I'm not sure, but this battle for the top 6 at the moment, very close.
Ooh, Ginnett goes a little bit wide.
Cars.
Camden and Biga seem to be right beside each other. They're side by side through the Sector 2 technical section right before the Sector 3 right-hander. Camden on the outside still putting a little bit of pressure on Biga. Biga squeezes him just a bit, and they're still side by side. So Biga's on the mediums. And
that's an end plate.
Oh, that's an end plate. Unfortunately, Camden had lost his front right end plate, and he is going to lose a little bit down. He might as well go in right now, or front left end plate rather, and he elects to stay out.
You wonder how he's going to take that S's without the end plate. That's going to be a struggle for sure. Definitely needs some downforce through that section.
So Camden back with the comment pace made, going through the S's right behind Biga here. So Biga didn't take the optimal line either, and Camden is lost about 2 or 3 tenths through the S's, coming out of coming to the end of Sector 1 here. Camden is having a really tough time. This is dangerous. Maybe he should have just come in, or maybe he's trying to preserve his position and come in 1 lap later on the softs to make it a little more worthwhile, but I don't know if you can consider it worthwhile missing that end plate.
As Doth says, it's not too bad on the when you're on the softs here, but I just personally believe if you got any wing damage early on, you want to take advantage maybe of getting that fixed early in the race, but you also have to look at the track position. Probably wants to hold on to that top 10 spot for the moment.
So GP Colin and Lacunac are side by side through the end of Sector 2 here. GP Colin yielding the position in the Mercedes to the Renault of Lacunac. So I don't know if they're having much luck here with Lacunac. I'm hoping that he's showing us that he can be a good, acceptable driver. GP Colin is not one to shy away from letting somebody know that they're aggressively fighting for no reason, but maybe it's justified the way Lacunac driving here. So GP Colin trying to make quick work of Lacunac. I believe GP thinks to himself, I definitely have more pace. I need to get by the end of Sector 1 so I can, or at least by the end of, or the start of Sector 2 to make this soft strategy worthwhile for me. Oh, Camden up the outside of Zemo, and Zemo saying, hey, there's my broadside. You're not allowed to pass. Coming into the hairpin just before Sector 2, at the end of Sector 1, let's see if Camden, Sir Harry Hotspurs picks up 3. Camden looking to try and capitalize down the Sector 2 straight here. He's well within DRS range. Zemo has no DRS range from anybody, so no help for him. He's going to go to the inside, goes a little bit defensive here. Camden going to the outside, and don't count Ryan out behind them. He's going to look to capitalize. Oh, and they make a little bit of wheel contact coming into the technical section of Sector 2. Camden does move past Zemo. Zemo relinquishes that position, thinking, I'm going to get you on the next straight, Camden.
Yeah, we got battles going on left and right. As you said, you got those 3 right there. Zamaglis right on Camden's tail. Ginnett in the lead now with Fuzz taking his turn into the pits. He's going to throw on the mediums. Try to finish out the rest of the race on those, hopefully.
Ginnett's going to try and perform the overcut here. If he gets an excellent lap, then he might be able to perform that overcut. But Puff Digital, being only 4/10 behind Ginnett, is going to put a lot of pressure on Ginnett down this Sector 2 straight. So if Ginnett succumbs to any of that pressure, it will ruin his lap. I can see right now Puff Digital's connection is absolute garbage, and I'm really hoping this isn't affecting his race or the people around him's race. I definitely don't know about you, Pace. I'm sure I can assume for the both of us, when you have somebody driving around you with bad internet, it makes for a very sketchy tiptoey race. So Puff Digital goes down the outside. Ginnett late breaks out of the track limits. Puff Digital taking that first place position. That is going to be horrible for Ginnett's strategy. Puff locking up into the right-hander before the double right apex, then into the left-hander, the slow up downhill left-hander. Ginnett is not able to take that position back from Puff Digital, so Puff Digital forcing a mistake out of Ginnett, and his tires are too worn to make it through the long right-hander at the beginning of Sector 3.
They both do stay out. T-Money's out. JFD, top 4 are staying out for another go-around. But yeah, speaking back to the connection issues, it's definitely hard to be the car with it trying to pass, because it looks as if other cars are having connection issues. And it's also being the car that is quite fine with the connection at the moment, trying to pass a car that has the issue, because cars jump back and forth. They don't look like they're braking when they should. They might look like they brake early, but they really brake late. Their car appears in the middle of the apex. So one miscue off of an issue like that could really end your race. Broken wing for sure. So hopefully these top 4 keep this nice battle going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got a birthday boy putting some pressure on T-Money at 6/10, but T-Money putting more pressure on Ginnett at 4/10, and then Ginnett at 5/10. So we have everybody within 2 seconds of each other. Everybody's going to be receiving a DRS, as Doth Thou Hoist receives the 3-second time penalty. Coming into the beginning of this Sector 3, it's imperative you take the line correctly and don't try and think smooth over speed. Oh, Ginnett cuts that sector 3 long right-hander egregiously, and I'm hoping that
Max
that
Verstappen-esque.
yes, exactly. Max Verstappen-esque for sure. We have a Sector 2 and Sector 3 yellow flag. Oh, it looks as if Gruesome Car has had he is ghosted on the side of Sector 2. He must have had a difficult time with somebody, or maybe he made an error on the hard tires, 8-lap hards. I'm not sure he's going to be happy with that.
As we said, to get the birthday boy here. JFD still staying out. I wonder if he's just still feeling comfortable with those softs at the moment, or he just wants to try to stretch it out once more. You have Bega on the mediums, not too far behind, so.
Well, there's a Sector 1 yellow flag now, and I believe that's looks like Lacunac spun it coming out of the pits. Perhaps there's a Sector 3 yellow flag now, and that is a Gruesome Car causing more havoc at the start-stop straight. I don't necessarily know if his car is going so slow as he's in the pits, but JFD on 9-lap softs now, running through Sector 3. I'm hoping to see him come in now, because I do think that once you stay out on these softs, 1 lap or 2 lap is to be expected, but the third extra lap, I don't necessarily know if that is the correct strategy, as it may be an hindrance to your lap time, so much so to the point you can be undercut by the drivers behind you.
Yeah, you overuse the grippy tire a little too much, and
oh my goodness! Fuzz makes contact with Ryan. What happened there? Out of the long right-hander into the downhill IndyCar left-hander, Ryan and Fuzz had made contact. So I wonder if there's going to be some thick air between the two there. So Fuzz goes down the outside of Zemo. Zemo gets an awful exit down the start-stop straight. I'm on board with Ryan here, and Ryan fakes to the inside of Zemo. Zemo right behind Fuzz, and they're going to go into the S's within 3-4 tenths of each other. T-Money makes a move on, I believe, on Sam. So T-Money behind Beck, putting a lot of pressure on Beck 9000. Beck 9000 million Kajillion is excellent driver, so he's not one that's allowing the other drivers to pressure him into mistakes, but we'll see what T-Money can do here in the next few laps.
You got GP Colin as well on the 10-lap olds, setting the same strategy as Sam with the 10-lap old softs at the moment. Fellow Tier 2 driver sitting in 6th place. I'm liking what I'm seeing there, but yeah, Fuzz with those with Zimo, Ryan, and GP. You think maybe he's on those little fresher mediums, had a little more pace. He just tried to barge his way through. Try to stay ahead of those guys like Puff, T-Money, Ginnett, who are on the 1-lap old mediums, trying to make a move back up there to the front.
Yes, speaking of getting ahead, Puff Digital and Ryan going side by side. Ryan is having a tough time asserting his dominance on this track right now. GP Colin so graciously lets Puff Digital and consequently Ryan go on the 10-lap old soft, so I think he's going to hope to come in about right now. I just don't see him staying out on these tires for any longer. And there he goes. He's diving in. JFD goes into the pits. Well. JFD as well. So Big is on 11-lap mediums in first place. Unfortunately for him, Fuzz is 5 seconds behind. Fuzz is thinking to himself, I'm on 4-lap mediums. Biga is on 11-lap hards. Once I catch him, he will have to either relinquish that place because I have so much more pace, and maybe Fuzz can pull me along, or he's going to have to dive in maybe. What do you predict for the medium runners? When do you think they're going to come in, Pace Dogs?
Well, I'd say that they could go 5-6 more laps, possibly tops. But you also have to think about possibly more than that, actually. But you have to think about the guys that are on the...
T-Money spins back around. Both the Alfa Romeos go around. The two of them. I caught it on camera, Rick. There you go. That is worth -10 penalty points. Get it to win it. Benefits greatly from both T-Money and Beck 9000 going around in the Alfa Romeos. What happened there, folks? Caught it on camera.
You got Beck 9000 around again. Maybe he overheated those tires in the spin a little bit, lost a lot of grip.
Oh, that was definitely not what the Alphas wanted today. They are going to be on the counter attack now, trying to figure out what the best strategy is for points. Hopefully they are in communication and not irritated with each other. I know that is gigantically unfortunate for the Alphas today. Puff Digital setting the fastest lap at a 1:36.405.
Yeah, he is on what I was getting to it, the tire strategies at the moment before that wild spin happened earlier. You got the three lap old runners on the mediums versus Fuzz at the moment, so you're gonna wonder, well, their tires, just hang on just long enough to gain that spot, because Puff's really gaining on Fuzz right now. He's almost within a second. And then you also have to wonder, when Bigga does decide to dive in and put on those softs, will he have the pace to use those to catch up to these front runners, being the fresh guys on mediums at the moment?
Excellent analysis. JFD on the one lap mediums comes out in 7th place. Down the Sector 2 straight, heading into Sector 3. Gruesome Car picks up 3 seconds. He's not having the race he wanted to have today. So 4 drivers, Ginnett, JFD, or Ryan, Ginnett, JFD, and Dzig. Actually, that would just be 3 drivers in Ryan, Ginnett, and JFD, all in. Zemo is in that party too. I can see him at the front there, freaking out on those 12-lap mediums because he's got these absolute savages behind him, having a giant powwow, all within 3-4 tenths of each other. The IndyCar left-hander into the start-stop left-hander, and there's going to be
fastest lap.
Puff Digital picks up the fastest lap. JFD and Ryan and Ginnett all have DRS right now, coming into the hairpin before the S's, and we're hoping to see some action between the 3 of them. These are not 3 drivers you want to sleep on. Ginnett with a little bit of understeer out of the hairpin, not the exit he wanted, under a lot of pressure coming under the Fly Emirates board by Ryan. JFD looking at the 2 of them. We're on board with JFD. We are going to see who comes out on top here down the Sector 2 straight. Ryan a little bit slow, holding JFD up through the left-hander. Coming into the right-hander, Ryan picks up 3 there. So easy in that sector, in that section of track. JFD goes down the inside of Ryan, and so switching on board with Ryan. Ryan to the outside, JFD to the inside, and Ryan lets him go so they don't lose too much time to Zemoglis and Ginnett. Ginnett 2 tenths behind Zemo, going down the outside of the Sector 2 straight. Zemo giving him the position, tucking in behind, and hoping to make the best of his 13-lap mediums here.
Great battle going on right there as well, with Puff trying to sneak in on Fuzz here. Sneaking up, as you said, is an understatement. Trying to move up on him to take the theoretical race lead, I would say, at the moment, with Bigga on the old mediums. He's going to have to pit eventually.
We have some Doth fans looking for some Doth cam time. Unfortunately, there was an incident between Doth and a few other drivers earlier in this race. Zoinks picks up 3. Zoinks, Zazoo. Doth coming out of the IndyCar left-hander and down, approaching the start-stop straight. He is on the hard tires because there was an incident between him and another driver that we should probably see a little bit of evidence provided by both drivers, because I know Doth is not one to allow injustices to happen in real life and on track. Doth, 4 seconds behind Camden Luca, is tough to justify giving him too much camera time. So just to give you a little bit of his pace here, coming through the right-hander into the downhill left-hander, and then back to the uphill right-hander into the start of Sector 2. He's running a fantastic race on these hards, but he is definitely on the counter-attack, trying to prove the pace the hards have and hoping for a safety car.
As the Doth cam was going on there, for his fans, Puff does make the move on Fuzz, so that puts the Red Bulls at 1 and 2 at the moment. Looking very strong today. You would have to think Bigga's going to try to maybe sneak into the pits here shortly. You want to time it just right so you can get those softs to work till the end of the race. You don't want them falling off too much at the end so you can hang with the front runners.
Exactly, and on that note, it is imperative these people decide when is not the right time to battle, because you do not want to overwear your tires on Circuit of the Americas, or you will find yourself in the positions of P19 and 20. Gruesome Car and Zoinks respectively had issues with spinning, and once you spin, it is virtually impossible to bring back down those tire temps. Lacuna picks up 3. Oh, I beat you.
Sir Harry Hotspur fastest lap. Got that one. What do you think's going to happen here? Puff right on Biggest tail. You would think might do a little team orders here. Get Puff in front. Maybe Bigga can do a little number here on Fuzz. Let Puff gain some distance. I wouldn't say the 2-lap difference on the tire compounds at the moment are a huge difference, but any extra gap that Puff can build on Fuzz is going to be huge, I would say. JFD makes a move down the inside of Ginnett, and he looks like he's going to hold on to that one for the moment.
I love the helicopter camera view of JFD and Ginnett in their fight right now. The Toro is able to get a wonderful exit. Coming into the long, sweeping right-hander, he's easily put 2 or 3 tenths between him and JFD. So JFD now on the counterattack down here through the left-hander IndyCar. The IndyCar left-hander. I'm referencing that as the IndyCar left-hander because of their absurd track, the line that they took through in the 2019 season. Just who cares about track limits? There was a giant black stripe of tire compound because they all unanimously decided that they were going to take that corner wide.
Yeah, they seem to allow that race. I don't know if those cars may be a little stronger chassis that they can handle that bump. Team Money leaves the session. Wonder if that is a lag out.
I believe he just lagged out, as he is ghosted and still taking the racing line. Dizig and Ryan, the first 2 drivers to take advantage of the T-Money ghosting. Sam M226 picks up 3 seconds, 1 for each letter of his name.
Biggest still on the 16-lap old mediums. I would say that it's getting, from my perspective, it's getting to that point. He is able at the moment to stay close to Fuzz, but not close enough. Fuzz 1.8 off the leader in Puff, but it's still huge for the Red Bulls at the moment. 1 and 3, very big for them right now.
T-Money, if you are in the chat, which I believe you are, you ghosted, so your driver is wreaking havoc on every apex. Unfortunately for you, my friend, we would love to see you get back in the race if it is at all a possibility.
Bigga dives in. He's going to try to throw on those softs to finish out the race. He's going to lose a few positions, but we'll see where he comes back out.
Ryan and Zemo and Bigga all coming out on the medium. Bigga's coming out on the soft tires. Oh, sorry, excuse me. These guys are coming out on soft tires. So Doth moves into 9th place, and he is definitely one of those drivers that has the pace on the older tires, especially the harder compound, in making that tire work for him for the next 10 laps. And again, I think he's hoping for a safety car. Oh, Bigga picks up 3, and Zoinks picks up 3. And GB Collins picks up 3. Pace picks up 3. I pick up 3.
Handing them out by the dozens. Bigga does come out of the pits on the softs, as we just said. He's 22 seconds off Puff. Not too far, only 2.6 off Camden, and 8 off Dizig with the old mediums. So you're going to want to think maybe he can try to make a move on those to get up in the 5th spot.
The 5th spot is a good points paying position. Orion is 2 tenths behind Zemo coming down the Sector 2 straight. easily making that position, and Zemoglis isn't going to fight that too much, thinking maybe Ryan can tow me along. Oh,
Fuzzylam.
Insane Asylum. Fuzzylam picks up 3, and he is now 2.8 seconds behind Puff. So if I was Fuzz Pace, I would definitely be thinking about keeping the consistency up, the tire temps down, hitting those apex perfectly. Lakunak has left the session. Hopefully he has done so in the pits, unless he's on that. Oh, so so I wonder what happened to Lakunak. T-Money did give us an update. His TV cut out and his car spun around and he was disqualified. But it did not say you were disqualified visibly on from the commentator's booth. Hotspurs picks up 3.
That is the case. His disqualified car is driving in 15th at the moment. Just hanging out.
Just hanging out, having a beer. Speaking of having a beer, JFD goes down the outside of Ginnett, and Ginnett not giving. Oh, and Ginnett goes really deep. Ginnett goes really deep, so JFD is going to be very irritated about that. Ginnett taking those tires, sliding them right past the apex, and putting it right in front of JFD. Now that is very bad form. We're going to see if JFD is going to come back here and try and put a beating on Ginnett to get past into that 3rd place podium position.
Yeah, Ginnett holding on to 3rd right now. Ginnett to win it could be Ginnett to lose it. Coin in the term if he can't hold off JFD. Puff, knock on wood, is clean at the moment, penalty-wise. Fuzz has 3. So Ginnett's going to be maybe looking to, Ginnett and JFD rather, looking to close in on Fuzz to try to take that 2nd spot. Zemoglis with 3.
JFD 3 and 4/10 behind Ginnett. Coming through the S's, Ginnett is having a tough time wrangling these medium tires. JFD very frustrated. Ginnett might be running a slippery setup, thinking that if you can catch me in the S's, that is no place to pass, but you cannot catch me down the straights, and that's where it matters for a lot of these drivers that aren't willing to put their race on the line. JFD dropping it into hot lap and max fuel. Sector 2 yellow flag. What in God's name? I don't see anything.
I do not either.
Oh, it says so. There's a confirmed Sector 2 yellow flag, but I just don't see who it is. GP Colin does get past Doth. So Doth back into 9th. Oh, this is a great fight between Ginnett. Ginnett is doing an absolutely, well, he's doing a pretty good job defending against JFD here, but I don't necessarily know if defending counts sliding over the apex and dropping a parked car on JFD counts as excellent defending, but we're hoping JFT's definitely hoping to get past Ginnett here. Sometimes you have to realize when somebody has more pace than you, potentially Ginnett could let JFD go, and Ginnett could follow for a few laps to bring that ERS back up, those tire temps down, and let JFD do the hard work.
Yeah, and then you also got JFD. Like I said before, maybe not the biggest difference, but 2 laps is a difference when it comes down to the end. 2-lap fresher tires. So you wonder if he's saved those a little bit here, just tucking in behind Ginnett. Could be making a move here. Ginnett gets a little wobbly on the exit. So this could be a nice battle down here in the same turn where things happened before. Will he peak it? And he decides not.
RC7 picks up 3.
While this is going on, though, I do believe that it doesn't seem the gap from Ginnett to Fuzz has changed much. So you want to think maybe Ginnett doing this defending left and right, maybe not gaining as much as he would like on Fuzz.
That's true. I mean, had he let a JFD in front of him, he might have been able to use JFD's pace to get on the back of Fuzz, and then they can open up that DRS and mount a higher points paying position attack together, or let JFD fight Fuzz and take advantage of the last lap fruits of their labor. Camden 6 tenths behind Dzig. So Camden looking to try and move up into 5th place on 14 lap mediums.
You do. I mean, we all do know that left-hander at the end of the DRS straight, very long DRS straight, but the braking zone you got to get it just right because it is a little bit more than a 90-degree. So perfect place for passes, but they got to be clean.
They have to be clean. And that does not constitute sliding over the apex and parking it. Unfortunately, that is bad form, and people will take note of that. Zoinks picks up 3, but JFD 44 coming down the sector 2 straight now, and Ginnett moves to the outside, I believe, saying, go ahead, JFD. Oh, and Ginnett pulls to the outside, and JFD puts the squeeze on, saying, not today, Ginnett. That is my apex. Your turn to follow me.
Yeah, you do. Oh, and he goes wide right there. Ginnett takes a peek, but a little bit of that corner right there, that left-hander, it is easy to get loose on the exit. So you wonder if he just decided to take the best idea and tuck back in.
Well, Ginnett's already looks like it is 8 or almost even a second behind JFD now. So that is a testament to JFD's pace. Ginnett picks up 3, not what he was looking for in the latter stages of the race here. Camden Luca behind Dzig coming into the start-stop straight. 3 tenths behind Dzig. I think this is going to be an easy pass for Camden, so long as Dzig doesn't put too much of a fight up on the apex. So Dzig stays to the outside, Camden goes to the inside, puts a little bit of a squeeze on pushing Dzig to the outside, and Dzig trying to perform the cutback, so Camden is able to hold him off. They go under the Fly Emirates board together in relative harmony. Dzig taking the non-optimal line as they come to the end of Sector 1, or the beginning of Sector 2, depending on when you tune in. And Camden is taking 5th position from Dzig, hoping to hold on.
Yeah, and then you also get to see maybe JFD was held up a little bit by Ginnett there, because he's closed that gap down at least by a second to Fuzz. Fuzz does have that 3-second time penalty as well as Ginnett. Puff is in the clear by 4.5 seconds now to Fuzz. So JFD sitting in a good spot today. Good for him on his birthday. This race is really flying by, though. I didn't even realize that we were at 23 laps, so it's going to start closing down. Things are going to get important here.
Arbiga is on 5-lap softs. Oh, and he gets a little bit of understeer there. I think that's a testament to his tire temps being a little bit higher than he was hoping, cutting the apexes of the sweeping right-hander. That is indicative of somebody with a high downforce setup. Arbiga 4 tenths behind Dzig now, and Camden moving through Dzig on the last lap. Dzig hoping to hold on to the back of Camden, but Arbiga is saying, let's go, Dzig. I am going to take that 6th position from you. I have the fresher softs. You are on the older mediums. Let's make this happen. Sector 3 yellow flag. Oh no.
I believe that was just somebody diving into the pits. Zoinks, yes.
Oh, Bega goes way wide. He's having a tough time on these softs. Now Dzig pulling away. Bega roasting those tires. Coming into the end of Sector 1 at the beginning of Sector 2 at the straight. Hopefully trying to hold on to that DRS positioning. 5 tenths behind Dzig. He will be looking to make a move, or at least substantial gains down the Sector 2 straight shortly.
JFD pulling to 1.4 off of Ginnett, so you got to think Ginnett really worked those tires in the ground. Probably they're trying to hold JFD off. So JFD's pace right now looking pretty good, 2.6. So he's gained another almost half a second on Fuzz.
Zamoglis going down the inside of Ryan, and Ryan has a bit of a glitchy moment, and he stays on the outside. So Ryan and Zamoglis make it through the long over just shy of a hairpin left-hander at the end of the Sector 2 straight, going side by side through the technical section of Sector 2, and they are still side by side. I can't believe this. Going through the long sweeping right-hander, who can hold on? Zimoglis has to let off there, and Ryan is able to take that lead, and they come through the IndyCar left-hander, and Ryan is taken the position from Zimoglis here. Grusin picks up 3.
We got a few little, good little 3-car battles here. 5, 6, 7 there. Dzig on the Dzig and Camden as well on the quite old mediums. Vega on those 7-lap old softs, but if he keeps those tire temps down, as we keep referring to at a track that you need to be smooth, tire temps are a very key detail to staying smooth. Maybe he can make a move on those cars. GP not too far behind at 2.8. And for all the Doth fans out there, time penalty wise, I'm not sure, but he's holding on to 9th with 21 lap old cars. Really grinding it.
Somebody goes around Sector 1. I believe that was Zoo. Here we go, boys. We just reached the 100 comment mark. Thank you for tuning in to Zor Round 14 at the MERICA Grand Prix. I'm not American, but I know my resident commentator here, Pace Dogs, is. Pace, how are you feeling about your home Grand Prix right now?
I think the guys are doing a great job. I don't know if you can hop on with JFD at the moment. He sounds like his engine's about to blow. It's redlining constantly. I don't know if that's a Codemasters issue. But it's a great track. I know some people are fans, some people aren't, as they are everywhere. But I really like this place. I think it's a great place for racing. Very technical through Sector 1. Beginning of Sector 1 into 2 with the S's. Couple sharp hairpins, couple good overtaking zones, lots of places mainly to put on pressure, and pressure causes mistakes, which we have seen thus far. So I'm really enjoying it. I think that the guys are driving well.
Are you a fan of Texas Queso?
Texas Queso? Well, I'm an Indiana guy, so don't believe I've had it.
I am also an Indiana Jones fan, and Arbiga comes down the inside of Dzig. Dzig holds on to that outside, tucks back in to Arbiga and goes a little bit wide through the right-hander after the just shy of the hairpin. And so Biga takes 6th position from Dzig. Dzig on those 18-lap mediums, hoping that GP Colin doesn't sneak in there. GP Colin being a reserve, so it won't affect Dzig's race too much, but Dzig has been the victim of a... Oh, Zoinks was disqualified.
Zoinks with the first retirement. As I was saying, clean race by everybody. Bumps here and there, bound to happen. You want to see it as clean as possible, but much better than the Singapore Grand Prix last week on retirements. Just one car out so far, other than the lag outs. Very unfortunate, but at least the cars are still on the track.
Well, you know, it's been a fantastic race. T-Money, if you've been looking for your ghost, I found him. Coming down the Sector 2 straight, Fazalem, Insane Asylum Fazalem has been doing a fantastic job here on the 19-lap mediums. He looks to just hold off JFD for one more lap. So T-Money's Ghost parking on that just shy of the hairpin there at the end of the Sector 2 straight. So JFD is now within 4/10 of that DRS range. Gruesome Car picks up 3, but that is nothing new on today's race. 3/10 now, and so JFD is trying his best to make these tires work, hoping to mount an attack on Fuzz in the very last lap of this wonderful American Grand Prix race.
But correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe it's almost as last week. I can't remember the cars per se, but the time penalties ahead, people just held on to what they needed to hold on to. And Fuzz does have 3, so JFD's 1.10 out. And if you can hold on this last lap with his car on my screen sounding like a 2004 era Ferrari, holding at the highest RPM possible, and he just sit there and pull in second.
So JFD now 8/10 behind Fuzz will get the DRS on the Sector 2 straight. Fuzz is got to be thinking to himself, I need to get a good exit through the hairpin at the end of Sector 1, and we're going to try and make this work. Hopefully JFD does open up the DRS, so JFD looking to put a little bit of pressure on Fuzz here, getting not close enough for a full-on attack, flexing the labor. Oh, and he just about goes into the back of Fuzz, so Fuzz is looking in the rear view mirror, and he must try and make the car as wide as possible right now to hold. Oh, and JFD goes down the inside like an absolute savage. Fuzz goes into the side of his car, so JFD showing Fuzz the broadside, making that late move, and Fuzz goes a little bit wide through the long right sweeping sweeping right-hander into the IndyCar left-hander, and so a puff at the end of the race. That's the fastest lap, like an absolute pervert. Fuzz comes across the line. JFD does retain that second position. Fuzz in third place. Aginit in fourth place. Camden with an excellent race here. I believe he started around fifth, and he is going to finish fifth as well on the 20-lap mediums. Just about doesn't hold on there. I think he's showing off to his pit crew there. GP Colin finishing sixth in the Tier 1 Round 14 Grand Prix race. Fantastic for him. Biga finishes seventh with an excellent showing for himself. He will be happy with that finish. Dzig in eighth, having lost a few positions on those old mediums over the last few laps. Doth does not have the race that he wants, but he does make those 25-lap hards work. Just a testament to his pace. Fantastic race, Doth. Congratulations to you. You have all the support in the world here. Doth finishing 9th place. Ryan in 10th. Beck in 9,000. Kajillion Million in the first non-points paying position, being 11th place. Hotspurs in 12th. RC7 in 13th. Stig, Sam, Zemo just about to cross the line. T-Money, unfortunately, his TV shut off. And with that being said, what a fantastic race today. Fuzz is going to be so excited with that second place pace, dog. What do you think?
Third place, actually, with JFD taking it. I believe. I don't think I'm wrong. I'm not sure. Yeah, third. But yeah, quality race. Huge congratulations to Puff. I would call that a redemption race, if anything, off the unfortunate events of last week, which seems T-Money suffered from this week. The internet's just picking guys off left and right. Quality pole lap and then holding it on for the top 3. And JFD, birthday boy, to him and his daughter as well. I'm sure we'll get them in here soon and get their thoughts on it, but I really enjoyed it. Quality race.
As the party leader, well said, Pace. As the party leader, please do invite Puff and JFD Fuzz into the chat or into the party. We would love to get some interviews going. Chat, please listen up, drop some questions. We would love your input and your thoughts today on today's race, the American Grand Prix.
I'm getting the guys in here now.
So we are just about to get the guys in. And we just reached 125 comments. Very exciting. Thank you for joining in, all of Doth's supporters. Of course, we love having you guys in here and all of your hilarious beaks. Apparently, Doth likes meatballs. Doth is for sure on roids. Dopegate 2020. The grip on the steering wheels is too tight. Those are all hilarious and relatively true. Oh, I can't even get back to where the regular... our regulars were commenting or commenting. So 12 people, 10 people left in here. Did somebody just join?
Hell yeah.
JF.
No, it's Puff, you
Puff
fucker.
Daddy.
Oh, sorry, man.
Puff
You guys
Daddy.
sound the same. I'm sorry, Puff
What
Daddy.
the hell?
Well, for a second there, I couldn't
the
tell.
hell?
Well, my mic's so good now, I can't tell.
Yeah, well.
There he is. Oh shit.
I'll let you get away with it this time.
Oh, sorry, man. I appreciate that. The newbie, the loser, Electric Chicken. JFD, fantastic job.
Buzz!
For Salem. And
Yep, I'll be right back in a minute here, guys.
well, Puff, what do you make? What do you make of your? I love the gold. You just reached the gold level
Yeah,
at first.
just got to gold level 1. What a time to be alive. This is great.
Congratulations. Winning.
I've only been playing this game for like 40 hours a week, like a full-time job. I don't know why I'm not higher, but...
So when you passed, when you put pressure on, I believe you came out of the pits in front of Fuzz, or did you pass him after you pitted?
He
No,
passed me
I
after.
passed Fuzz after I pit. I got ahead of Beck, though, and then he passed me, and then I instantly got by him again. Tell me you guys caught some of those nasty overtakes through the bendy bits.
Oh yeah.
We tried our best to go
There
where
was some crazy.
go where the tight gaps were. The bendy bits
Yeah.
being the not the S's in Sector 1, but the beginning of Sector 3 and the end of Sector 2.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We caught some of those bad
Hell
boys.
yeah.
You know what we did catch was the
Kudos
two.
to
Excuse me?
the other guys for keeping it clean through there. I was like, I don't know, I sent it around the outside and just kind of hung it on the inside, and it worked 2 laps in a row. I was surprised, but yeah.
It was a tough
Yeah,
race. A Fuzz, talk of the town,
Yes.
second place. What? Well, I mean, I gotta say, man, you put it on pole. You did well to fight through those first few laps to ensure that you maintain that excellent front row start. How was the race for you? What are your thoughts? And how do you feel about your
So-
pace today?
First of all, it was about fucking time. after all those races with decent pace, good enough pace, but never the consistency in the race to pull it off. So I'm happy I did not bin it for once. I think I had good pace on the softs. I would have won if I could have maintained that pace, but on the mediums I was just way too tentative on the throttle. Like, in the back of my mind, my goal was to not spin out today, basically, so I was extremely tentative in all the heavy traction zones. So coming out of turn 11, on the exit of turn 12, turn 1, that's where Puff and JFD kept gaining time on me. And yeah, it's just basically trying to maintain tires and fuel and ERS, and just I was focused in the second stint, not on my pace, but just bringing the car home, basically.
That has to, I often do race like that as well. I mean, Puff called it a business decision, and I couldn't agree more. It's about points. The first place will come after the consistency, you start to hone that consistency. But a fantastic race to you, and congratulations. I know you're going to take this into the general chat and definitely flex those second place muscles.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
JFD, what do you in the last few laps there? You were definitely. Oh, you know what? Let's skip the last few laps. How about trying to get past Ginnett? I mean, you had to be kicking. You had to be kicking and screaming at your place. Was that intense or what?
That was frustrating. I mean, it's I could definitely. I think I was definitely running a little more downforce than he was, so that's what made it hard. And I've never been good on that long DRS straight, getting an exit out of there, and that's where I just didn't have enough gap. And I think after about 7 or 8 laps, I finally got a good enough exit where I was able to get by. So
7 or 8 laps, that's unfortunate. I think that had you been able to pass Ginnett earlier, or Ginnett had let you go and decided to follow your DRS to the back of Fuzz, I think that potentially you might have been able to at least put some time between you and Fuzz. But for Fuzz, the Ginnet trap worked out fantastically. But in the earlier stages of the race, knowing, I think you stayed out really long on those softs, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I stayed out, I think, till lap 11.
That's
everybody
absurd,
was
man.
I went, well, everybody was going for the undercut, so I'm like, well, I'll just do the opposite. I'll stay out a little longer. I think that's where I definitely had the advantage over everybody else towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle, when I was bad on Ginnon, I think our tires were pretty even. So once his wore down a little bit, and I think I gained a little bit more traction, was really able to gain some time. But everybody was going for the undercut. I tried the opposite, essentially.
Yeah. Well, those 11 lap softs were starting to get pretty old. Speaking of tire age, let's switch it to regular people age. How old are you today?
I am 39 today.
Hot tamale.
Is it your birthday today?
Yeah, very
Yep,
big
it's my
happy
birthday
birthday,
today.
and
Yep.
to your
Oh,
little
no
one.
way.
Yep, and my second daughter is 7 today, so it's
Oh,
7
wow.
years ago I had a best birthday present you can ask for. So
Yeah.
That's so cute.
What a-
That's
If
That's
I,
awesome. Congrats. Happy birthday to you and your family there. That's awesome.
Yep, thank you.
If I may jump in and ask a few things I wanted
Please,
to talk about.
please, absolutely.
Puff
Yes.
quality. I called it on the podium in the booth here as a redemption drive. I think you needed it after last week, in my opinion. But something I want to know is taking us through the start there. It got really dodgy in turn 1 for everybody.
Yeah.
So-
I'll have to watch a replay. I'm not entirely sure what had happened. I got a good start. Honestly, I wanted to take the outside, but Fuzz, he held firm on that line, so I went to the inside to get alongside him, and then I think Beck kind of just like sent it through there. I'm not entirely sure. I saw him fly through. There was a little bit of contact, I think, just wheel to wheel with me and Fuzz. And then all through the S's, I had absolutely no traction. I couldn't figure it out. My back end kept stepping out, and I dropped like 3 or 4 places, I think. And yeah, I ended up in 4th by the end of lap 1.
Yeah, I think you lost your back end on like turn 8 or 9, that left-hander at the end of the S's.
Yeah.
And I know I saw Beck sneak through, and I just followed his line.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
but
once I
Go
knew I
ahead.
lost traction, I just wanted to make sure I didn't kind of like swerve into anyone or, cause any issues. So I kind of just pumped the brakes, tried to get under control. And yeah, those guys, I knew they were going to come through. So I just didn't want to swerve left and cut any of them off. Same with Jinnit too. I knew he was going to try and shoot it down the inside. And I don't know, you race long enough with all the same folk and you just kind of know,
Who's
it's a
going
long
to do
race.
what?
We race 50% races for a reason, right? And just kind of don't want to do anything crazy on the first lap, especially after you've made a mistake. No point in trying to make up for it in the very next turn. So, no, I just wanted to be patient. I knew I had pace, and yeah, it worked out.
Well, huge congratulations to you there, because JFD did have the lead by 8 points going into this race. So big.
I think
big,
it's tied now. I think
Yeah,
I did get
should
fastest lap. So I think JFD came second. So yeah, we're
The perverted. Let me just reiterate. The perverted last like 18 lap medium fastest lap. I just about puked. I
Fuzz
was
knows.
like, this
This
guy
is why
is
I'm
like,
F4, right,
he's
Fuzz?
taking advantage of me.
Yeah.
and to Fuzz.
Yeah.
Speaking of the first turn, you kind of got mauled there. Like I said, everybody got a little wild. But at the
Yeah.
end of the race for you, did you? Well, I guess it would go to JFD. You had a time penalty. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I
Fuzz.
did, yeah.
So JFD, did you know he had one?
I knew he had one, yeah.
Okay. Well, I just was curious about that because it looked like as if JFD, you were maybe held up a wee bit by Ginnet, and then once you got past him, you really closed that gap on.
Yep. That's
on,
once I had the clear air. I mean, that's I just get in a rhythm and kind of go, and I knew I had fresher tires than everybody else, so I was That's where I was. I think with about 5-6 laps left, Fuzz had 3 seconds on me, and I was able to get by him on the last lap, so I was able to close in.
Yeah, it's really nice. It was a quality race by all you guys. All three of you have something. Puff with the redemption race, Fuzz with the quality pole-setting lap, finishing in the top 3, and JFD with the birthday boy podium.
Yep.
So congrats to all three of you. Solid race.
I'd like to give a congrats to Fuzz. I think you doubled your points total today. Nice job.
Yeah.
Fuzz, what's your strategy? What's your strategy for Germany? Are you hoping to move this momentum forward, or is it?
It depends. If I practice a little bit, I might be able to, but I have no idea. I don't know what my pace is like at Germany compared to these guys because I haven't raced Germany in a while. So let's see. We'll find out next
Not
week.
true. You raced her like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I crashed in the first 10. That's
Also,
Well, congratulations, Puff, for your first place, and JFD for your second place. Happy birthday, and Insane Asylum Fazilum bringing home the third place, his best finish of the year so far. This was Zor Tier 1 Round 14. Looking forward to Germany next week. And, of course, thank you, Pace Dogs, for your undying... You're so sexy. So that sexy voice, too. So for all the people that tuned in, this is Electric Chicken. We will catch you next week. Thank you very much.